All the members who are participate have already started preparing. And those of you who are still considering doing it, I would request, please take that step forward and give your names to Gaurav by the 11th of Feb. That is the last date to give the names to Gaurav. With this, I would want to close the business session. And now I will hand it to the Sergeant at Arms for the day, Toastmaster Vaishnavi. Over to you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I hope I'm audible and visible. So, my favorite breakfast is masala dosa. So much so that every morning, whenever I go out, I need to have masala dosa. It's my most comfort food. And I never change my menu. Just like how I have masala dosa as my comfort food, I'm assuming all of us have a comfort place, food, person we all love. A friend of mine recently gave me a beautiful advice. I became obsessed with a movie recently and kept watching this movie on a loop. Seeing this, she told me, "You're obsessed with watching this movie not because you like it. It's because you know the ending. And this gives you a level of comfortness, which puts you in a box and does not allow you to think out of the box." Maybe I love masala dosa so much because in Bangalore, you can have any dish wrong, but masala dosa is always a masala dosa in any corner of Bangalore. It can be better, but it can never be worse. Just like being comfortable with being uncomfortable is when we all can take that one tiny little step. And our president, Ankita, thinks her comfort zone is her comfort with being uncomfortable is coming out of the box when she joined Toastmasters. She is an aspiring chartered accountant, loves painting, plays guitar, and practices yoga. She has had a long journey in Toastmasters, from being former secretary, VPM, associate VP PR, and VP education. Please help me introduce our president, Toastmaster Ankita.
Thank you so much, Vaishnavi, for that very warm introduction. Good evening to everyone present here today. Let me first call upon our Secretary Toastmaster Bhavani to read out the minutes of the previous meeting.
Thank you, Madam President, Toastmaster Ankita. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Here is the minutes of meeting number 1147, which was held on 31st of January 2022, with the theme Good Old Days, with the word of the week, alluring. The business session started at 6:16 p.m. and was chaired by our President, Toastmaster Ankita. In the business session, Vice President Education Toastmaster Spooty mentioned that all the roles are open for the next meeting and the interested members are to contact her for the same. The President Toastmaster Ankita addressed that the members are requested to prepare for the club contest, which will be held on 14th of February. And the members interested to participate in the contest are requested to give their names to the Vice President membership Toastmaster Gaurav before 11th of February. The regular meeting started at 6:18 p.m. Acting Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Spooty started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to the President Toastmaster Ankita. The President opened the meeting, spoke on the theme and introduced the Master of Ceremony, Distinguished Toastmaster Udanka. The Master of Ceremony spoke on the theme and introduced the following rule takers: the timer Toastmaster Gaurav, our counter Toastmaster Arundhati, grammarian Toastmaster Monish, PP Validator Toastmaster Sai. The prepared speech session had two speakers: Toastmaster Shiv Prasad attempting his level 1 project 2, evaluated by Toastmaster Bhavani, followed by Toastmaster Vaishnavi attempting her level 1 project 3, evaluated by Toastmaster Prakash. The table topics session consisted of 10 speakers. which was conducted by Toastmaster Ujjwal. The speakers being Toastmaster Sridevi, Distinguished Toastmaster M.U. Bhatt, Distinguished Toastmaster Subramaniam, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra, Toastmaster Gaurav, Toastmaster Monish, Toastmaster Oryoji, Toastmaster Kadi, Toastmaster Sai Snehal, and Mukesh as the guest. The general evaluation session was conducted by Distinguished Toastmaster A.K. Prabhakara. The winners of the week were the best prepared speaker by Toastmaster Shiv Prasad, the best evaluator Toastmaster Bhavani, the best table topic speaker Distinguished Toastmaster M.U. Bhatt, the best role taker Tab G Toastmaster Sai Snehal, MTG Distinguished Toastmaster A.K. Prabhakara. The president closed the meeting at 8:13 p.m. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Ankita.
Any changes proposed to the MOM? Okay. So I will consider that as passed. And now I open meeting number 1148. Since I don't see any guests in our meeting room today, let's jump straight into today's meeting. A very good evening once again to everyone present in the meeting room. Let me ask all of you, how did you feel at your first day at work? How did you feel when you met someone for the first time and took some time to open up about who you are as a person? How did you feel when you took the stage for the first time as a Toastmaster in front of an unknown audience? All those jitters, beads of perspiration, and anxious thoughts can be summed up in one word: uncomfortable. We were pushed out of our comfort zones in these moments of life, and we might have not enjoyed it a lot, but it has played a role in shaping our identities and who we are. Let me share with you a small little anecdote that I happened to encounter in my life. The first ever client that I audited as an intern has given me a bag full of unforgettable memories. This was a company that was being audited in my firm for the first ever time. And on top of that, we were a team of 4 freshers who were assigned to this assignment. So all of us were as clueless about how to go about this particular audit. We would sit in a conference room every day and discuss the to-dos for the day, only to realize that we had almost come to the end of 1 week and we weren't really making any progress. The wake-up call came when one fine morning, we got a call from the senior manager who was in charge on this audit saying that he would be reviewing the fixed assets work paper the following week. And guess what? I was the person who was working on fixed assets. Unfortunately, I was the person who had to go and for the first ever time get my work paper reviewed by a senior manager. I still remember my teammates giving me those side glances mockingly, and one of them even remarked, calling me the guinea pig of the team, because I would be the first one to get a review done from a senior manager. The next few days were not free from stress, and of course, the cluelessness also continued. I had plenty of queries. Of course I did. I was a new joinee. And I had no one to ask these questions to, because even my teammates were freshers, and even the client was a first-time client of my firm. I put together whatever I gathered from the client in the meetings and my understanding of fixed assets of the company. And in the blink of an eye, it was time for the review. A sleep-deprived me walked into the office next morning, nervous and unprepared, but prepared for the worst. My manager was a man with a stern personality. He carried an aura of seriousness and strong work ethic. The moment was here. I opened my work paper and I found myself in the most uncomfortable situation that I had been in a very long time. The experience was bittersweet. He pointed out some errors in my formatting, which I promised to correct. He also taught me some tips of MS Word that I still use up to date. Overall, more than criticizing my work, he gave me constructive feedback to do better next time, much like any evaluator in Toastmasters would. So the next time you find yourself in an uncomfortable position, embrace it and try to find out how it will benefit you in the future. Ask yourself, When was the last time you experienced discomfort? An unpleasant memory, maybe. You probably took some valuable lessons with you, or could have if you had not run away from discomfort. If you realize the value of discomfort, you will be more likely to be willing to accept discomfort as a part of your life, and you will carry all the lessons that it will have to teach you. With this, let me bring to you the Toastmaster of today, our MC, Toastmaster Prashant. When I first saw him come to Toastmasters, I felt like he had this aura of seriousness, and he always came prepared with whatever role he had to take up. And as eager as I was to hear him back then, I'm similarly eager to hear what he has to say about the theme today. With a huge round of applause, please put your hands together and help me welcome the MC, Toastmaster Prashant. Over to you.
Thank you, Ankita, for that wonderful introduction. Comfortable being uncomfortable is very close to me. In the year 2017, we were into the business of system integration. When there was new technology trends like cloud, blockchain, and things like that, it is important that we embrace to be relevant. So we had absolute no experience on cloud technology. I had to kind of involve a consultant to help us with resources, put up a process, and things like that. And when we got a project for based on cloud technology, we had to provide 24/7 support. So we had to form a team and kind of provide them required training and see that the heavily demanding customers' requirements are met. Oh my God, how can I say that it's been a great turmoil. Seeing our desperation, some of the team members were asking for hike every 6 months. It was putting a huge burden on us because there was a threat that any change in resources, we would have lost the project. Hence, I had to kind of meet some of the demands and somehow form a team together and see that the customer requirements are delivered. Slowly, after 2 years of struggle, I kind of slowly optimized, added new resources, provided training, changed the consultant also. In the meantime, in the process of 2 years, one of the junior team member got promoted. He started leading, and we had more and more resource. Dear Toastmasters, today I can proudly say, because of the difficulty and uncomfortableness that we embraced for the last 2 years, we could, as an organization, sustain during the COVID-1 or 2 and during the lockdowns. If at all, if we had continued in system integration without employees going to the project site and performing the task, we wouldn't have been able to bill the invoice and collect payments from our customer and take care of our sustenance. Because we embraced cloud technology, our employees were able to perform work from their house, and we could continue to bill the customers and sustain the organization, sustain the livelihood of our employees. Similarly, to make every one of us comfortable in public speaking, Toastmaster movement was started. Toastmaster is a non-profit making organization which was started by Ralph C. Smedley in the year 1924, YMCA Santa Ana, California. The purpose of the club is to help members to improve their communication, public speaking, and leadership skills. The organization, which started with just few members with just one club, today it has more than 360,000 members with more than 16,300 clubs in presence in 145 countries. So let me explain the structure of this meeting. It basically consists of 3 sessions. First is the prepared speech session, wherein the speakers prepare on a particular topic and project and come and speak on the title. And second session is table topic session, wherein members are given the topic and they have to, impromptuly, they have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes on a particular topic. And the last session is the general evaluation session, wherein the entire proceedings of the meeting will be evaluated. So to help me conduct these sessions, I have few role takers. Let me start with PP evaluator and counter of today's meeting, Toastmaster Rashmi. Please explain your role.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Good evening, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As a counter, the purpose of the counter is to note down any overused words or filler sounds such as clutch word by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjections such as and, well, but, so, and, you know. Sounds may be or I will share my report at the general evaluation session. And as a PP role, it is very important to follow certain rules or protocols for any smooth functioning of meeting. Toastmaster meeting is no different. There are certain rules which I kindly request all of you to follow during the meeting. Starting with the first one, kindly avoid talking about sex, politics, and religion. Keep your video on and keep muted unless requested by Master of Ceremony or Table Topic Master. If it is not possible to keep video on, kindly, due to any technical issue, please mention as available in front of your name so that it will help the role taker to be aware of your presence. In case if you happen to leave the meeting in between, kindly drop a message in a Zoom chat box. I will be sharing my report during this general evaluation when I called upon. Thank you. Back to you, Master of the Day.
Let's give a big round of applause for Toastmaster Rashmi. Now I call upon today's timer. I request Toastmaster Udang to give details.
Good evening, everybody. As a timer, I'll be noting down of the timings taken by the speaker behind the screen. For prepared speech session, I'll be changing my virtual background at the end of 6 minutes. 5 minutes, I'll be changing my green background. For 6 minutes, I'll be showing a yellow background, and for 7th minute, I'll be showing the red background. For table topic session, I'll be showing the green background at 1 minute, yellow background at 1.5 minutes, and red background at the end of 2 minutes. And for individual evaluation, I'll be showing the green background at the end of 2 minutes, yellow background at the end of 2.5 minutes, and red background at the end of 3 minutes. I'll be giving my report during the general evaluation. Back to you, TMOD.
Let's give a big round of applause for timer Udang. Yeah, now we'll move on to the grammarian. I request Toastmaster Bhavani to explain her role.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Prashant. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters again. As a grammarian, I'll be making a note of good usages and not so good usages of English grammar. Along with this, I request you all to use the word of the day, which is congenial. It is pronounced as congenial, which means pleasing or liked on account of having qualities or interests that are similar to one's own. The usage can be his need for some congenial company.
I'll be putting up the same in the chat box. And in case you miss it in the chat box, you can see the word in my virtual background. So please feel free to use the word of the day. I will be giving my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Prashant.
Let's give a big round of applause for Toastmaster Bhavani. Now, we will start our first session, that is prepared speech session. The first speaker will be giving his level 2 project 2 title A Brush with Evil. I now request the individual evaluator, Toastmaster Lanana Murthy, to provide the guidelines.
Thank you, MC Toastmaster Prashant. The purpose of this project is to deliver a speech with awareness of your intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn, practice, and refine how you use non-verbal communication when delivering a speech. All the best to the speaker, and back to you, MC
Thank
Toastmaster
you,
Prashant.
Toastmaster Lanana. The first speaker works as a technology leader at an intersection of business and technology. At work, he enjoys telling business and data stories and winning deals with his stories. Outside of work, he enjoys photography, reading, writing, and solving word games. This speaker is also my personal favorite. Whenever he gives his speech, I'm always ready with my pen to take notes. Please put your hands together and welcome DTM Amitabh Saharai.
Am I visible and audible?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Recently, I was witness to a nasty road rage incident. A college student was driving his bike. He honked it and tried to overtake a BMW car. The car driver swerved his car, stopped the bike rider, and thrashed the bike rider right in front of everybody on the road. A violent scene played in my head again and again for the entire day, until I came across a story in the book called Inside Human Violence and Cruelty. Very insightful story it was, and it helped me clear my mind about the incident. So, my dear friends, let me share the story with you. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Deepika, a beautiful young lady with a congenial personality, was traveling from New York to Mumbai over a long-haul flight. In between, she had a stopover in Dubai. Being such a long flight, she was very hungry and tired. Fortunately for her, she had a cafeteria, airport cafeteria nearby. So she stepped in the line, bought herself a can of Coke and a bag of chips. But unfortunately, the entire place was full of people and there was not a single seat to sit. She scanned the place, and then finally, she found one place where a tall and a hefty guy reading a newspaper was sitting, and across the table was an empty seat. She walked up there hoping that the tall and hefty guy wouldn't mind her sharing the seat. They made a brief eye contact, and he briefly nodded his head as though to indicate that he was fine for her to sit there. So Deepika settled down into the seat, stretched her arms and legs, and started sipping from her can of Coke. Slowly, Deepika extended her hand to the bag of chips on the table. As she munched the chips, a weird thing freaked her out. She noticed that the guy across the table started staring at her violently, looking over the newspaper, glaring at her as though a predator glares at the prey and locks his vision at the prey and glares at the prey. Then suddenly, he extends his arm and grabs a handful of chips. Deepika was totally stunned. A part of her told, flee from this place and save yourself. But then another part of her told, this is a crowded airport. He is not going to dare to harm you in such a crowded place. And then A voice behind her shoulder told, Deepika, why don't you just get up and tell the person politely, please mind your business. But then she thought, what if the person is carrying a weapon on him? What if he's an influential local guy who can put me in trouble? After all, in this place, I am without any support. I can't call anybody for help. Just then, she heard the boarding announcement. That came as a relief for Deepika. So she picked up her baggage and started walking towards the boarding gate. And then she looked through the corner of the eyes just to see if she was not being stalked by the person. Deepika's heart was still pounding. She just couldn't digest what happened to her. How can someone be so evil? How can somebody grab somebody's foot even without asking? Was he just trying to intimidate me? Or did he mean physical harm? All these questions were running in Deepika's mind. But sooner than she realized, Deepika found the answer. As she put her hand in the handbag to pick out the boarding pass, there lay the bag of chips. Deepika brought the bag of chips at the airport counter at the cafeteria. She put it in her handbag, but then there was an identical bag of chips on the table that she mistook to be hers. Suddenly, everything flipped upside down for Deepika. So in her head, she was asking, so now who really is the evil? It can't be that guy sitting at the table. So am I the evil? No, I cannot be the evil because I made an honest mistake. And is evil just a product of my imagination? So my dear friends, these are the kind of things that were running in Deepika's mind. But then let's take a step back and ask ourselves, what is the story that we learned from the road rage incident and Deepika's weird experience at the airport? In Deepika's case, perhaps it was nobody's fault because it was an honest mistake. And in the road rage incident, who knows? The college student perhaps had an emergency, we never know. And that's why he was perhaps driving rashly. But then there is one thing that is common in both these incidents. In both these incidents, unfortunately, people are too quick to jump to conclusions and blame somebody as the culprit. I'm sure in our own lives, maybe there are situations we ourselves jump to a conclusion and blame someone as a culprit without even knowing all the facts. Isn't it, my dear friends? So the fact of the matter is that for every stimulus, there is a reaction or a response. Between every stimulus and a response, there is a tiny window, a very tiny window that we can slam shut and just jump to a reaction, or we can thoughtfully frame our response. Everything out there doesn't have to be an evil. Often, evil is just in our imagination. But then as human beings, we can make a much better choice. As Viktor Frankl once so nicely put it, between every stimulus and a response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to come up with a response. And in that response lies our freedom and our growth. Over to Toastmaster.
Please give a big round of applause for TTM Amitabh Saharai. That was a wonderful speech. I thoroughly enjoyed. Now, let's move on to our second speaker. The second speaker is attempting level 5 project 1. I request the individual evaluator DTM AK Prabhakara to provide guidelines.
Purpose statements. The purpose of this project is for the member to develop a detailed vision for his or her personal life, professional life, or an organization. The purpose of this first speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her vision. Notes to the evaluator, that is me, but its audience also should know. The member is completing this project has spent time developing a vision for his or her personal life, professional life, or an organization. About the speech, the member will deliver a well-organized, engaging speech to share his or her vision. The member may include information about the process of developing his or her vision or the benefits of bringing it to fruition. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech should not be a report on the content of Develop Your Vision project. Over to MC.
Thank you, sir, for providing a detailed guidance. The speaker is a passionate teacher, an energetic host, an informed trainer, always looking for new possibilities and relishing life one day at a time. Please put your hands together and welcome Toastmaster Balaji.
Toastmasters, a fabulous evening. Well, 5 days back, I was thrown the toughest challenge I could ever accept by Toastmaster Spurti, and she asked me to give a speech. And me being me, who totally loves the entire world of Toastmasters, I finally decided there is absolutely no way I can say a no to it. I have been regularly irregular. It's high time I make up to this. So I was like, okay, sure, let's go for it. And then I figured what exactly was my speech all about. And then I found out this speech was about me talking about my vision. And I was like, hey, this is easy. This is super easy. And I took my time to prepare. I was just collating thoughts. And I just took my time. I thought I have 4 more days. I can streamline my thoughts. And this streamlining happened for 3 long days. And then I just figured out the most difficult thing to ever find out was the vision of your life. And something that made it a little more difficult this morning is when I found out that my evaluator was DTM AK Prabhakara sir. That definitely created the jibbles. And I'm like, hey, hello, sir. I know, I do understand. I have taken up a session for today evening. But sir, this is definitely important. It's not just me speaking and clearing, sir. Now I have to go back and read the entire 24-page report. And when I was going through this 24-page report on the project, I had to be sure because my evaluator is always sure of what he's talking. And I didn't want to come across like I was not sure, sir. When I was going through the project, the first thing I really wanted was this life. Very, very easy to go to. Everyone loves money. And most of us love the New Yorker life. When I thought, where do I want to see myself in the next 20 years? Man, this is where I want to see myself. If not New York, but at least this is the kind of atmosphere I want to see myself. Making loads of money, making loads of connects, making loads of real estate, and of course, leaving my footprint over all the urban houses, becoming a solution provider to each one of them. And then I went to the next few pages and then I realized, hey, am I being very money-minded? Is this what I am really born for? Is being rich the only wish a human can have? And then I asked myself a question. What do you truly want? And this time, I used meditation as a medium. So 5 minutes, I'm like, let me think about what I truly want. And that's when I think I got my answer. And that's when I decided this is the life that I want. Earn happy money, where I can go for periodic vacations, be by the beach, enjoy the nature, enjoy the beach water, enjoy the sound of the waves, enjoy the luxury of the restaurant and the hotel, Spend your life like it's a holiday that you're never going to return to. This is exactly what everybody wants, I thought. Then I scrolled down more into this project, and this project told, hey, be practical. Don't base your project on what others look at as happiness. What really makes you happy? What really makes you the one with a vision? What is your vision? Don't base it on what people think is success. What is success for you? And that's when things got a little more intense. It was almost 5 hours countdown to the speech time. And I'm like, okay, vision, AKP sir, vision, AKP sir, vision, AKP sir. And finally, I'm like, hey, it's high time I decide on something. And I left all my work behind. Mondays have somehow become a very, very tight day. But I'm like, today at any cost, I need to figure out what my vision truly is. And that's when I got to an understanding where I want this. Not just me. All of us want this. We all love being the spotlight. We all love being there, leading this life of being a spotlight. And now, what really makes me feel like a spotlight? Well, at home, with a family who's there to feed me, love me, take care of me. While don't worry, it's a two-way relationship. While I enjoy my profession, being a solution provider, not by doing someone else's expertise and making it my own. I had to understand what my expertise is. What exactly is my strength? Understanding people, my strength. Going up on stage and talking to an audience, my strength. Taking up any textbook and making kids understand in the most simplest way, my strength. And that's when I really got my vision. In the next 10 years, I want to see myself with a school filled with 20,000 children. Not just studying science, math, social, English, finance, accounts, no. Studying one subject. What are we making our kids study? We're making them study 15 to 20 subjects. When they get 22, 23, they realize that, hey, this was not required. I want to have a school where a kid realizes in the most amusing and the most beautifully built ecological balance. I want to do this. And I want to become an expert. So that's when I realized my vision is to create, is to make, is to be a Calvinist to at least 1 lakh people, making them realize where they can become an expert. Because, hey, when you are an expert, money might not really follow you. Happiness.
Toastmaster Balaji. We are unable to hear you. Okay, shall we move to the next session? I think he had almost concluded his speech. Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Balaji. That was an inspiring speech. We now move to the second session, that is the table topic session. Our today's table topic master is a mechanical engineer working as a data analyst at a company called Unpickle. His goal is to establish a company of his own and provide loads of employment. Please put your hands together and welcome Toastmaster Monish.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Toastmaster Prashant. So a very good evening to my fellow Toastmasters. So the next session, as you all know, is the table topic session, which I believe is by far the most exciting session, as in this session, it is instant. And so in this session, I would be giving out the topics and the speaker would have to speak for 2 minutes. So I'll be sharing my screen now. Just a second. Yeah. Can you see my screen, sir? Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So the first topic for the day is the year is 2050 and you have just arrived on planet Mars. Describe your experience. So I would request Toastmaster Sai Snail Reddy to speak on this topic.
Good evening, table topic master, fellow Toastmasters. The year is 2050 and you have just arrived on planet Mars. Describe your experience. Well, looks like I've been a very late adopter to this system where everybody's gone to Mars and I'm still waiting for 2050 to reach. Well, you all know how the world is progressing in terms of trying the race to Mars with Elon Musk, with Jeff Bezos and everybody trying to reach Mars the earliest at the possible, trying to see how life is possible or not on Mars. Now it's 2050 and I finally got my chance to reach Mars. I've actually had a dream in such a situation where I tried to explore some unexplored places and it was full of new things to discover. Like how they say, leave your footprint and not your carbon print. And this is what Mars looked like, with just footprints all around. And it is full of fresh places to visit, adventurers, and all about it. Although it was extremely hot there because of the distance it is to the sun. These are the kind of situations one would generally experience when they reach Mars, and this has been mine. Thank you, and back to the table topic, Master.
Thank you so much, Sai Snail. That was actually very wonderful and insightful. Okay, moving on to the next topic is a lot of countries are turning the 5-day work week into 4-day work week. Your take on this topic? I repeat, a lot of countries are turning the 5-day work week into a 4-day work week. Your take on this topic? I would request Toastmaster Udanka to speak on this topic.
Good evening for the Toastmasters and thank you for this topic, table topic master. One second, just give me a second so that I can make my. Am I visible or am I frozen?
Your screen is frozen.
Just give me a second. Am I visible now?
Yes.
Oh.
Good. It's okay.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters. Making a 4-hour work schedule from 5 days to 4 days, I really don't know how does it work. I don't know how epic is the corporate world. I don't know how intense is it to work all 5 days or even to work 7 days a week. So I'm just enjoying my end of my student life because I'm currently final year and only a couple of months from now and I'll be done with my engineering and then my corporate world starts. So as per I've seen, I've heard people say okay, working 5 days is really exhausting and I badly want a break. So I'm probably this corporate world hasn't, as per my knowledge, it has been from years together that this concept has been followed, working 5 days and having a 2 days break on the weekend. So if that could be followed, it would be really great. And once I experience, I could say if I can work 4 days a week or 5 days a week or 7 days a week. With that, handing over the charge back to Table Topic Master. Over to you, Toastmaster Manish.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Odanka. That was good. So moving on to the next topic. Just a second. Okay. So next topic. If you knew that you would never fail, what would you do? I repeat, if you knew that you would never fail, what would you do? I request Toastmaster Vaishnavi to speak on this topic.
Thank you, Table Topic Master Manish, for this topic. So, if you knew that you would never fail, what would you do? I think the first time, you put this topic, the first thing which came to my brain was being a YouTuber. I know it sounds very fancy, and it is still an establishing career path, or to say a side career path, because no one considers it as a full-fledged career till now. And I think normally the career path, according to my parents, at least the people around me, would be either being an engineer in my family, where I broke the stereotype and choose law. And my parents already think, law as a profession is going to be very tough. And I think if I say I want to be a YouTuber, they would say just pack your things and tell me to find a way out. So yeah, I think if I would never fail, that is one career I would choose for myself. Thank you. Back to Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Vaishnavi, for your views. So moving on to the next topic. So the next topic is the pros and cons of online learning. I repeat, the pros and cons of online learning. I request Toastmaster Sharanya Prasad to speak on it.
Good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters, and thank you for this topic. There are so many pros and cons of online learning. The pros, what I think is that for the students is not getting ready and going to school or college or what we are learning. And for the teachers also, and it is more easier to connect with the people. For the cons, I would tell that it is very difficult for the people to adopt. For me, it was very difficult for me to adopt from offline learning to online learning, because learning and asking doubts to the teacher and suddenly shifting to online, it was very difficult for me to cope up. But for the students now, I think it is easier for them, and the future of online learning would be this. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sharanya. So moving on to the next topic. The best lesson I have learned. I repeat, the best lesson I have learned. I request Toastmaster Lalana Murthy to speak on this topic.
Thank you, Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Manish. The best lesson I have learned. The best lesson I have learned, I could say, is like we all expect things to happen according to our convenience. But then the pandemic, which we have been experiencing for the last 2 years, have taught us a lot of lessons, I should say. So, in fact, my son, who was in the US, came back and he was stuck here because his visa didn't come through. And I could see that developed a kind of patience in him, which I had not expected actually. Because youngsters are always so impatient and they want to get all the things done very fast, and like they think technology is at the end of their fingertips, and all that. And it was very surprising for me to see that, like, he took it in his stride, in fact. And in fact, it was me who was always worried about it and stressed that what would be his future, because he did want to go abroad and he had done his masters and all that, and he did want to go abroad and work there only. And finally, things fell into place, everything opened up, and he was able to go, and now he's already back there and pursuing his dream. So the best lesson I can say is we all have to have patience, and it will all come to us in time. There is a time and place for everything. So that is what I feel. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lalana, for that beautiful lesson for us too. So moving on to the next topic. Life was better when technology was more simple. I repeat, life was better when technology was more simple. I request DTM AK Prabhakar sir to speak on this topic.
Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Once upon a time, the size of a tribe, that was the community, or in fact, the tribe of 30 to 40 people, were almost a nation, if you recollect, when we were forest dwellers, even before agricultural era. And even to this day, if you recollect, if your memory works on that principle, you can easily recollect your school attendance, college attendance, maybe up to 30 members. That's how we are wired, hardwired. It's an evolutionary process, and it is there for millions of years. It has been there, imbibed in us. But as the tribe expanded and the tribes around joined, it became a village, and agriculture era developed. And agriculture era demanded, even the hunting demanded teamwork. And teamwork means you have to break down the task. And things, if you put the village became town, town became cities, things became very, very complicated. And ledger writing way and writing was discovered in that decimal system to binary system, and things were not happening at the rate or the speed at which it was required to alleviate poverty and make people comfortable and live in safe and secure environment. And that's where the technology comes. These are the kind of words that are coined for just mass consumption to kind of put them in some kind of a comfort feeling. But this doesn't solve the problem. Technology is the way, and the only way, I would say, take the human evolution forward, and that we are on the right track. Because in 1909, Tesla, one of the finest, greatest, not the Elon Musk Tesla, but Tesla, original Tesla, Nikola Tesla, forecast in 1909 that one day everybody will have in their hand a device in which they keep on sending messages on a continuous basis. That is the kind of communication that was required 1 century ago, and it is more so now today. And that is how we are progressing. We are on the right track, and be assured, don't believe this statement. Over to Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, DTM Prabhakar sir. Thank you for your views. So moving on to the next topic, importance of kindness. I repeat, importance of kindness. So I request Toastmaster Neeta Shah Kumar to speak on it, please. Neeta Shah Kumar, are you on call? Okay, importance of kindness. I request Bhavani Hemant to speak on this topic.
Thank you so much, Topics Master, Toastmaster Monish, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters again.
Good evening.
For me, the main, one of the important things in life to follow or serve for other people or members was gratitude. And I wouldn't say there is any other thing to express gratitude other than being kind, not only to the fellow human beings, it can go to being kind towards animals as well as things. I always like to be there for people, help people. So this is the reason I was always waiting for a platform where I can be there so that I can bring one little smile to the other person who is standing on the other side. And that is when I came across my first NGO when I was in my 10th standard. And I'm happy and proud to say that from there till now, I have been actively serving in nearly 6 NGOs. So that is one form where I can say that I am happy for whatever, be it my parents, the society, or the nature are giving me. And this is how I am giving it back to the society, back to the people, back to the animals and other living things, as well as the non-living things outside. This is one thing which I would say is free. You are supposed to pour your heart, and just one minute act or one step of yours can change somebody's life or can make a difference and bring that one smile. And the reason behind that would be you. And you will also be happy for that. So always be kind and be grateful for what you are, who you are, and where you are. With that, back to you, Topics Master, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for your views, Toastmaster Bhavani. So moving on to the next topic of the table topic session is ignorance is bliss. I repeat, ignorance is bliss. I request Toastmaster M.U. Bhatt to speak on this topic, please.
Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. This is, in fact, I'm eminently capable of speaking on this for hours together. In fact, this was my project speech, one of the major ones, where I explain my role at home, how ignorance has helped me lead a very, very comfortable life. Every time in early days of my married life, and my wife used to ask me to bring vegetables, you know what? I will go and bring the thickest of kind, broken this thing or overripe bananas. My wife will look at it and blow her. What the hell? One simple job I'm asking you to do it and you can't do that. And I show my poker face. So then next day onwards, now she buys the vegetable herself. When the cook had not come, our utensil washing lady had not come, she asked me to help her in the kitchen for washing utensil. I made such a mess. He said, oh my God, what the hell, one simple job I asked, and you can't do that, get out, you are fit for going and watching TV on the front. So I again showed my poker face and went to the hall and started watching TV, enjoying myself. That has helped me. I am, today is my wedding anniversary, incidentally, and I'm 40, my marriage is 45 years old. I married 45 years back. And let me tell you, one thing good about this is one skill which has helped me successfully in this field. And best thing is, I have never been caught. Back to you, Tabletop.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster M.U. Bhatt, for that jovial and interesting speech. So we move on to the last topic for the day. So last topic is how to tackle a bad habit. I repeat, how to tackle a bad habit. For this topic, I request our President, Toastmaster Ankita, to speak on this topic.
Thank you, Monish, for that topic. I'm sorry I won't be able to come on video right now, but I will take it in the audio mode only. So they say that it takes 21 days to form a new habit, exactly 21 days. And where I picked that up from was from Kota Factory. I'm sure a lot of us have watched that show, right? So that's where I picked it up from. And I actually did try to apply it in my own life to see if it actually works or not. And surprisingly, it actually does. Like after a period of about 21 days into that particular practice that you're trying to do, you start getting into it. Like it's like a groove, like you begin to get into it. And then at the end of that 3 weeks, you begin to feel like this particular habit has become a part of your routine. So the same way how to tackle a bad habit would be to find a counteractive good habit, which you integrate in your routine for 21 days and keep pursuing that relentlessly for that period. And you will find the bad habit probably fade away and the good habit which you took up to take over. So let me give you an example. So when the pandemic had just started, I had become like this typical couch potato, and I had a very bad habit of waking up like really late in the mornings and like not really moving a leg at all for the entire day. So to remove that bad habit, I inculcated a habit of practicing yoga. So what I had to get up in the morning to do yoga. So for 21 days, relentlessly, I tried getting up early in the morning to do yoga. So yoga became so much a part of my routine. I was enjoying it so much that I would wake up every morning, and this bad habit of getting up late just like began to fade away. So that would be my take on the topic. And I just hope that I made any sense. Thank you so much for the topic, and back to the table, topic master.
Thank you so much, President Ankita. That was a nice speech. So with that, we come to the end of the second session, the table topic session. All the speakers were wonderful. And with that, I would like to hand over the charge to the MC, Toastmaster Prashant. Over to you, sir.
I think today's topics were very interesting and disruptive. Please give a big round of applause for table topic master Mohnish. Before we go to our third session, the final session, we will take a 10 minutes break. So now it is 26. We'll come back by 7:36. Yes.
Prashant, I think we can restrict that to 5 minutes. We don't need a 10 minutes break.
Okay, then we'll report back at 7:31.
Cool, thanks. AKP, you were saying something? Yes, sir. Okay, got it.
I said it's 5 minutes is sufficient.
Yeah, okay. Also, all the members who do not know how to access Basecamp feedback, like I had said, we'll be playing the video right now of the tutorial. So please stay back for 2 minutes, watch that, and then you may take your break. Sai, could you please play that video? Thanks, Sai. Thank you so much, Sai, for playing that and also for creating it. I hope all those who do not know how to give feedback are now aware of it and will go ahead and give their respective feedback. Thank you.
I welcome you back again for our third session, general evaluation session. To conduct this session, we have a Toastmaster who is a Triple Crown awardee, has conducted several youth leadership programs and speechcraft programs. Past president for our club for 4 times. His interests include music and traveling. Presently a consultant in material handling. Please put your hands together and welcome DTM MU Butt.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, for that very nice introduction. You have totally reproduced whatever I have sent you. Thank you for that. It was a simple intro. Nice job done. Let me, what is today's session? I think that 2 insightful speeches, a thought-provoking presidential address, and attention-getting, Sergeant at Arms giving a real powerful opening. Very good conducted table topic session, and I'll not come to individual evaluators and trail takers later. That about sums up for today's meeting. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Let me come to, before I proceed, let me first ask our Sergeant at Arms. I think you have forwarded the, list of table topic responses and all that for ballots, so that they can fill at least the best speaker and the best table topic.
Yes, I have already sent the ballot.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. I think you can first fill that in next. Yes, Mr. Prabhakar. You are silent.
It's not accepting the responses.
It's ballots are not accepting their. It is coming out without any spaces to fill.
Yeah, it's working now.
Okay.
Okay, Prabhakar.
Okay, thank you.
Prabhakar, is it working now? You're not.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay, thank you. So let's go ahead. So you can fill that for at least best speaker and the best table topic speaker. The rest you can fill later. And let me come to start with the individual evaluators. The first speech was a level 2, project 2, delivered by distinguished Toastmaster Amitabha Saharoy, A Brush with Evil, evaluated by Lalana Murthy. Can I have your evaluation?
Thank you, sir. Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and Toastmaster Amitabha in particular. I would like to evaluate by touching upon what went well, what could have been better, and an overall summary. At the outset, let me compliment you on the excellent speech, which had everyone engrossed till the end. It was a well-organized speech with a good opening. This project calls for understanding the importance of body language and also to use gestures that show the confidence of the speaker. You started off by telling about the incident of road rage between a bike rider and a BMW car. The next incident you spoke about was about Deepika's travel to New York via Dubai, where she stopped by at a cafeteria to eat something. Both these incidents, narrated by you, gave you ample scope to fulfill the guidelines of the speech. It was nice to see that we had a full view of the speaker and were able to observe the posture, stance, position, and movement of the speaker. The speaker used appropriate gestures to reinforce the message of his speech. The speaker was extremely confident with good eye contact and facial expressions. Coming to what could have been better, I felt that there was unnecessary movement a couple of times, like you were trying to move away from the camera once or twice. I felt that was a bit distracting. I also felt that you could have added a bit of drama when you mentioned that Deepika found her packet of chips in her bag. You were just narrating continuously. Instead of that, you could have added a bit of drama is what I felt when you narrated that incident. Overall, it was a remarkable speech with an underlying message that we all tend to jump to conclusions very often without knowing all the aspects or facts. And I also liked the quote at the end, which reinforced the message that you wanted to convey. Looking forward to your future speeches, Toastmaster Amitabha. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Lalana Murthy. Let me, I think for all the newcomer Toastmasters who are there here or who are not very much experienced, I think Lalana Murthy's today evaluation is what I call a textbook model evaluation. What an evaluation should be like. Well, really, really good. I really thoroughly like the way you did, Lalana, today, your evaluation. That was everything to the point, detailed analysis, points are valid, both regarding his couple of unnecessary movement and his lack of bit of dramatics. And the way you conduct the whole evaluation came about so very powerfully and helpfully. I really congratulate you on that. I would not like to comment on GTM Amitabha Saha Roy's speeches because only one thing I can tell you, even for the benefit of all our members, that what we can learn, why we come here is not only to practice our own speeches, but look at others and see what they are doing better so that we can follow them. Amitabh Saha Roy is one such person whom you can follow. The basic issue of body language and non-verbal communication mastering is, to me, that is the most fundamental thing which we have to learn in Toastmasters. What I feel that my ultimate goal is to have that only, to have that level of comfort in front of the mic or in front of audience, with the free gestures, with free body language, with a smile, with the free movement. You are one with the audience, it's easy to communicate your ideas, and that he has exemplified with his speech today. Wonderfully done, particularly the contrast you brought about the two issues and the conclusion. And another thing is every speech should have a take-home value, some message to be given, and that he brought it so very nicely, telling about how not to jump quickly to conclusions. Wonderful job done, and wonderful job done by both the speaker and the evaluator. Let's give them a resounding round of applause. The second speech was Level 5 Project 1. It was delivered by A.S. Balaji. The title was Sharing His Vision. evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster A.K. Prabhakara. Can I have your evaluation, sir?
Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and Toastmaster A.S. Balaji in particular. Is he there? Yeah, I see that. Particular. The idea behind the speech is to find a vision for himself, for his own life. That's what he attempted. And his idea behind the speech was that he did find the vision, and that vision was to help maybe 1 lakh perhaps young people to find their expertise in their life, their strength in their life, so that they feel comfortable leading a life and be successful. That I consider is that, because that was finally the process through which he arrived at this vision for himself was by process of elimination. First, he thought he should be in New York. He showed a photograph right behind him. Then he said that he wanted to be leading a luxurious life, be in the beach, then the hotel, then real estate. And then he questioned himself, is he money-minded? Success, is it going to be related to money alone? Then he found that he has to work on his strength, and that his strength is to talk in front of a certain audience. Even he imagines himself to be addressing a size audience of 20,000 people. Then he realized that if the education system doesn't help you find a certain strength in yourself, it is not math, algebra, it is not geometry, it is not, that is about schooling. Education doesn't bring about your strength on which you can operate. So that's when he started thinking about his own life. He likes being in the spotlight. And that is when he realized that he should train people to bring out the best in themselves. That's how he realized the vision. That's what he wanted to drive about. This is the body of the speech. I think one thing that he excelled in everything, I would say, but he wasted his time initially, almost 1/4, I would say, of his time in trying to go about finding the topic very roundabout way. He being invited by the VP, then the evaluator being somebody, he started visualizing things which are, I would say, hallucination, I would say. To that extent, he wasted time. Given a 7-minute time pitch that he has to do it in business, imagine yourself, and that you have to do it precisely in a focused way, and time should not be wasted. That's what I would say, we should work upon. This is not the first time I've seen it, but this is done repeatedly. You have to cut the crap, I would say, and focus on what is required. But you have the strength, innate strength, latent, and you have to bring out, make it patent. You will really excel. You are the star in the making, I have repeatedly telling, but stay focused, things will start happening. You have the capability to do what is required, and you have successfully arrived at the vision. Within 5 hours since morning, you sat through for the meditation. I would say all other things are in place. Work on what I have told. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you, DTM A.K. Prabhakara. You know, one thing about our distinguished Toastmaster A.K. Prabhakara is he doesn't mince words when he says, and what he says, he means. And I feel I agree everything what is said today. Particularly, you know, it is not that we have been seeing Balaji for so many, for 5 projects, levels we have seen. You are a real powerful speaker with a booming voice, with a subtle sense of humor. You immediately bring a binding to the, you know, with the audience, with your powerful oratory and your style of speaking. There is something amazing which most of us are not able to achieve in our own, you know, speeches. So kudos on that. You are doing an extremely good job there. Having said that, what Prabhakara told is right. Many times we end up the first, you know, it's very, very important. The first 1 minute, 2 minutes. What they say is first 1 minute is the most important thing. You know, just like a first impression is the best impression. You have to create that first impression. Need not, you can straight away jump into the speech and start with that. There is one thing, not only for the speech, for all your speeches, there is one guideline. And for everybody, one suggestion I can give you is, you told about the how you are afraid of A.K. Prabhakaran, started reading the 24-page report. It was a humorous, told in a humorous vein. But let me tell you that this is whether A.K. Prabhakaran or someone else, that is a must. You know, Pathways for all, the benefit of all our members, Pathways has got two objectives. You can see that always there are first two lines. The object of the project is to this. The object of the speech is like this. You know, these are two independent things. The first is the object of the project. You are implementing a project. Here, you are developing a vision of your own based on the guidelines given in the project. Then, as a speech, you are sharing your experience in the process, bringing about what a development of a vision is called for. You know, that is the way it is done. So that we all of us have to follow in all our speeches. This is very, very, whether it's 24 pages or 100 pages, every word of it. I know in earlier documents, our DTM, our advanced manuals and all, if you see A.K. Prabhakaran's or my manuals, you can see some 101 red lines, blue lines, green lines here and there, highlighting every point. Because every point is important, has to be implemented. It's a learning process, and then you're sharing your experience. But that doesn't take away your, because the intention was you to bring some humorous angle to it that came out really well. But just as a passing aside, I'm just telling the members that we should be more, we should take it more seriously as far as the objectives are concerned. Wonderful speech, yes, Balaji. I think the conclusion was missing because of the lost contact. Otherwise, wonderful speech. Let's give a big round of applause for both distinguished Toastmaster A.K. Prabhakaran and A.S. Balaji. Then we had a very interesting table topic session by Monish, 9 interesting topics, and all answered very well by 9 different persons. Monish, you are given a good intro to the what is table topic your session is about and all that. And your topic you brought about PowerPoint slides, which was good. In fact, sometimes it was enabling, it was giving guideline how to prepare this, because there are some sketches also in that to help you out. It probably may not be required because table topics just to stretch your imagination. Having said that, only one point I can tell you is always cover non-role takers first. I think particularly president and master of ceremony and all, and even general evaluator should miss out. And you have missed 2 persons today. Probably it would have been better if you had covered. I think Sharanya was not asked a question. And Vijay Upendra, you know, I always look forward to listen to Vijay Upendra's table topic response. Always very insightful, just like our A.K. Prabhakaran's responses. I missed it today, but that was just a small clip. There is one thing a table topic master has to do. There is a major job he has to do. As soon as he comes to the meeting, observe who is there, who are the role takers and who are the non-role takers. First identify them and then ask questions to them, then cover the rest of them. Otherwise, a very good session, Monish. Congratulations on that. Let's give a round of applause to him. Let's come to the individual role taker. Let me call up Toastmaster Rashmi to talk about her, give a report on R counter and on PP evaluation. Rashmi.
Yes, am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Good evening once again. Here is my detailed report about R counter. Let me share my screen. So today I saw many speakers who are very flawless and fluent in their speeches. It was very difficult for me to find out the faults actually. So first, starting with the president, Toastmaster Ankita, no R's and ums, she's flawless. Then Sergeant at Arms Vaishnavi, 2 R's and 1 ums. Master of the day, Toastmaster Prashant, 5 R's. Timer DTM Udanka, 0 R's and no ums and any other crutch words. R counter and PP Rashmi myself had 2 R's and grammarian Bhavani 1 R's. Evaluator 1 TM Lalla Murthy 1 R. Then speaker 1 Amitabha sir was flawless, no R's and ums. And evaluator 2 DTM A.K. Prabhakara sir, no R's or ums. And speaker 2, Toastmaster Balaji AS, 1 hour. Toastmaster Monish had 2 hours. Toastmaster Sai Snehal Reddy, 1 hour. DTM MU Bhatt sir, 0 hours. That is my report about our counter. Shall I proceed with PP report also,
yes,
sir?
Please, please. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, good evening once again. So as a PP, there was no talk about sex, religion or politics. It was a very clean meeting. No any talk about these things. The meeting was in place. All the member videos were on, some except some technical issues, and are muted whenever they are not required. However, we had conveyed us through any chat window that could be avoided. And there was some yes, that what I wanted to make them to aware of the other role takers also. It created some disturbance. Then apart from that, meeting went very smooth, and it was really a good meeting. And that's all from my side. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashmi. I think you always do your job very meticulously and seriously. And today was not different. Wonderful job done. Let's give a big round of applause to Rashmi. Let's listen to the timer, distinguished Toastmaster Udanka.
Good evening.
Please give a report, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Here is my report on timer. So, Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Vaishnavi took 3 minutes 10 seconds. President Toastmaster Ankita took 7 minutes 36 seconds. Master of Ceremony Toastmaster Prashant has taken 16 minutes 21 seconds so far. Speaker 1 DTM Amitabha has taken 6 minutes 43 seconds. Evaluator 1 Toastmaster Lalana has taken 2 minutes 40 seconds. Speaker 2 Toastmaster Balaji AS has taken 7 minutes 58 seconds. Evaluator 2 DTM AK Prabhakara has taken 3 minutes 38 seconds. Table Topic Master Toastmaster Munish has taken 5 minutes 44 seconds, and the entire session lasted for 19 minutes 52 seconds. All the speakers, except one speaker, spoke more than 1 minute, and one speaker spoke more than 2 minutes. General evaluation has so far taken 21 minutes 32 seconds. This is my report on timing. Handing over the charge back to GE. Over to you, DTM MU Bhatt.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Udanka, for that meticulous report. Let's give a big round of applause to Udanka. Let's listen to the grammarian's report. Toastmaster Bhavani, please give your report.
Thank you, General Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster MU Bhatt. This is my grammarian's report. We had a large number of good usages, and there were few phrases and quotes also mentioned, and very less number of not so good usages. Toastmaster Ankita used the words whooping jitters, beads of perspiration, sleep deprived relentlessly, and the phrase guinea pig of the team and couch potato. Toastmaster Vaishnavi, level of comfortness out of the box. Toastmaster Prashant, comfortable being uncomfortable. Turmoil, embraced, relishing life, disruptive. Distinguished Toastmaster Amitabha, heart was still pounding, jump to conclusion. And a quote by Viktor Frankl, between every stimulus and response, there is a space. And distinguished Toastmaster A.K. Prabhakara, fusion, hardwired forest dwellers, hallucination, process of elimination, and phrases, bring out the best in oneself, cut the crap, latent, patent, and excellent. This Toastmaster Balaji, regularly irregular, money-minded, catalyst, beautifully build the ecological balance, and leaving my footprint, what really makes you happy, being the spotlight. Toastmaster Monish, instinct. Toastmaster Sai Snehal, explored some unexplored. Leave your footprint, not your carbon print. Distinguished Toastmaster MU Bhatt, eminently capable, poker face, thought-provoking, take home value meticulously. And Toastmaster Lalana Murthy, engrossed, ample scope, and underlined message. Coming to the not so good usages, instead of work from their house, we can use work from home. Instead of when I called upon, when called or when I am called can be used. Instead of no any talk, no talk. Instead of I was witnessed, I witnessed, as we cannot use two past tense in the same sentence. And the word of the day, congenial, was not used by anybody. And there was one mispronunciation. It is not impromptuly, it is impromptly. And we also had a book suggestion in today's meeting, Evil Inside Human Violence and Cruelty by Roy Burmester. This is my grammarian's report for the day. Back to you, distinguished Toastmaster Emil.
Toastmaster Bhavani, you always excel in whatever you do. Very articulate, detailed report, very helpful report, what I find. And today, one thing more different, what you've done is the word how to be pronounced, whether it's a congenial, how to be pronounced. That is very important. Most of the time, grammarians tell the word, but they don't know how to pronounce it. And everyone pronounces because we know we belong to different places of the country. Every beginning or state, we pronounce it. So that clarity was there today. And your report was really very, very detailed and very nice, helpful for every one of us. Great job done. Let's give a round of applause to all the role takers of today for the wonderful job done. Coming to the meeting proper, the business session was started in time, which actually there were 5 announcements. Very nice. There was one thing particularly liked about was regarding our YouTube performance. I think our VPPR and our president, the whole team should get the credit for that. I think, and I really like the president reminding about the base camp evaluation, our feedbacks to be given, to bring it to our notice each time. That is a good job done. And coming to Sergeant at Arms, Vaishnavi gave a real energetic start for the meeting, brought about the theme of the day regarding starting about our masala dosa and all that, and then talking about them watching a movie in the loop, how you're coming out of the comfort zone. The same theme was developed and wonderfully by the president. But first, give a round of applause for Vaishnavi, our Sergeant at Arms, for giving such a powerful start for the meeting. Coming to the presidential address, what I really like about our president is she brings real value in whenever she comes. And that is one thing I've seen. And today she brought about that anecdote about, that there was a lot of learning, there was a lot of value in her speech regarding her experience, how it is necessary to embrace an uncomfortable situation so that you can learn something from there. And, there was something really good. And you are really coming up as a good president, and your presidential address are definitely worth listening to. I don't miss it. Very nice job done every time, Ankita. Keep it up every time. Only one suggestion I can give you was today is your introduction of master ceremony could have been a bit more elaborate. That's what I felt, because master ceremony is a very, very important role, and he needs that kind of support. So that's one thing only I could have said, but wonderful job done. Let's give a round of applause to our president. Last but not least, our master of ceremony, Prashant. One thing I liked about Prashant is the amount of preparation you have done today for the meeting. There's one thing I think not only now, in your past avatar in our Mekon Communication Club also, I've seen how sincere and meticulous you are. That you learn from everyone. That's one thing you said. That's how you brought about in your introductions also, when you introduced Amitabh. You talked about, again, the theme you developed based on, again, a personal anecdote, how you developed about that cloud computing and all that. Very nicely done. And your introductions were in place. Your voice was okay. Your smile, your, the way you introduced were all quite appropriate. Everything, I do not have any suggestion as such for you to any work further upon. Only all I can say is keep up the good work. Maybe a little bit of more energy, would bring, that kind of bestow in you. Actually, that is not your nature, I know. You are an intellectual kind of person. So, but master of ceremony is not that sign of so it brings that kind of energy, grace. In any Toastmasters meeting, there are 2 persons who bring the energy. One is the Sergeant at Arms, and another is the master of ceremony. So these 2 roles have to be real popular, and you should bring that kind of this. But they're not to take away the wonderful job you have done of connecting speeches. And one thing in particular, I should mention you, the way you creatively introduced the Toastmasters movement regarding relating to the theme of coming out of the comfort zone. That is one thing which is required. How you bring in the subject, how you connect it. This is what is important. That is where our creativity lies. You have done it amazingly well today. I really liked it. A wonderful job done. The well-knit program. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Congratulations, Prashant, and let's just give a resounding applause to our Toastmaster, Prashant. Overall, I already told, I've concluded in the beginning itself, it was an amazing meeting. Only thing is about there was evaluation, there was insightful evaluation and the role takers' roles, which I could not comment earlier, which I really thoroughly enjoyed. And I learned a lot of things today. That's something really good. Any meeting, you should learn something. There should be some take-home value. And today it was that lot of learning today. Wonderful job. I enjoyed it thoroughly. With that, back to Master Ceremony, Toastmaster Prashant.
Thank you for that wonderful evaluation. I'm sure every one of us will take your feedback, work on the improvements. I request a big round of applause to DTM MU Bhatt. Under Toastmaster Ankita's command, as you can see from the beginning till almost concluding, it's like, the meeting started on time. A very active participation from role takers, and as usual, a very vibrant, member participating in the meeting. I thoroughly enjoyed, very interesting. I felt, so I over to, with that, I'll over to President Ankita.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Prashant. A round of applause for your great emceeing today. It was great to have you back after that hiatus. I hope to see you come to our meetings more often and take up more roles in the coming weeks. It was indeed an amazing meeting today. We had two very insightful speeches, which was evaluated by two very seasoned evaluators. And we had a table topic master, Monish, who also has returned from his hiatus. So that was a great meeting. And I'm sure all of us thoroughly enjoyed it. A few notes before I close today's meeting. Firstly, I would request all the members to keep an eye out for the WhatsApp group. We will be sharing the YouTube link for watching the recording of this meeting by tomorrow. So you can watch your performances again. You can reevaluate yourself. So please make full use of that link. Secondly, I have mentioned profusely throughout this meeting. I will reiterate again. Please do go to Basecamp and provide feedback to members. It is very encouraging and motivating when you see that someone's taken out their time and given you feedback. Also, please go one step ahead and drop them a WhatsApp message. Tell them that, I've sent you an evaluation. Please check it out because there's no notification that does come on Basecamp. So looking forward to see more people step forward and give evaluations this week. So now coming to the most awaited, that is the results for today. We have got 17 responses, and I can see we had about 18 to 19 participants. So that's almost a full house. So everyone seems to have voted. The one person who's not voted, you know who you are. Please do vote the next meeting onwards. So coming to the best TAP G role taker, that goes to the one who had a very profuse report. I got a bird's eye view of all the good and bad usages in today's meeting, along with one book suggestion and the phrases as well. Great job done by her, Toastmaster Bhavani, the best TAP G role taker for the day. Congratulations, Bhavani. The best major role taker goes to DTM MU Bhatt sir, who brought on the table many good suggestions for us to take back home and work on. Thank you, sir, for that great session, and congratulations to you. The best table topic response. Oh, wow, we have a tie here. So we have two people who've bagged this. First, it's our very own DTM MU Bhatt sir. He's won the best table topic, as well as AK Prabhakara sir. So that's two of our club's greatest speakers coming forward and winning the table topic session. Congratulations to the both of you. The best evaluator goes to DTM AK Prabhakara again for his very comprehensive evaluation of Toastmaster Balaji's speech. I'm sure Balaji is waiting to go out there and write a speech that, beats even this one. So good luck to Balaji's future speeches, and congratulations to A.K. Prabhakara, sir. And the best speaker goes to Toastmaster Balaji AS for that power-packed performance. And great speech, Balaji. Every time you come on the behind the screen or behind the stage, you really inspire us to be better speakers. So great job done there. Congratulations to you too. With that, I will close meeting number 1148. Next week is our club contest. Please, those of you who wish to participate, you're in two minds, you're thinking about it, take that step forward, give your names to Gaurav. Let's see the battle between the contestants here, witness it next week. So thank you, everyone. Hope to see you all next week participating in the contests.
Just a second.
Yes, Ujjwal?
Let me take the screenshot. So
Sure.
I hope I request everyone to switch on their video. Done. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye and good night.